Hello, my friends. Stop making your kids number one. Welcome to another live video. My name is Troy Stone King, and thank you for watching. Before I go any further into this video, I just want to say I've been working on copying the videos over to YouTube, and the first 25 of these live videos are now on the YouTube platform. Should be easier for you to search and share, and you don't have to dig through my Facebook timeline anymore. But those 25 videos are over at youtube.com/Troy Stone King. youtube.com/Troy Stone King, and I'll drop that link also in the comments on this particular video. So here we go. Here's the topic of this one. You got to love it. Stop making your kids number one. Before I go any further, I love my kids. I do. I love those boys desperately. I love our daughter-in-law. I love our grandson. I love them so much, but they are not number one amongst the people in my life. Here you go. Unless you're a royal, the purpose of marriage is not to have kids. Unless you're a king or a queen or a prince or a princess, the purpose of marriage is not to have kids. Not at all. In fact, the purpose of sex isn't even to have kids for most people. Some of you weren't even trying to have kids and they just showed up. So unless you're trying to have kids, that's not the purpose of sex either, you know. But so here we go. You married your spouse. You married your spouse, if you're married, to love, honor, and cherish that person until death. You didn't marry your spouse in order to have kids, and some of you do have kids. For those of you who don't have kids, then hey, good for you. This is not a message you need to worry too much about. But your kids, the ones that showed up in your house, whether you were having kids on purpose or not, they are hopefully temporary residents. They're going to be there for 18 to 22 years or so, depending on the circumstances that you're dealing with and how much you allow. But your kids are temporary residents. Your spouse, your husband, your wife, that's a lifelong commitment that you made. That's a decision that you agreed to. You didn't say, hey, I'm going to have these kids in my house for life. I hope not. You're married to your spouse for life. You're married to your spouse for life. Love your kids. Love your kids. Encourage them. Support them. Help them to get started out. Teach them to be great adults. But never give them top priority. In the people that I love most department, it's my wife. You know, our boys were raised with the knowledge that their mom was always my top priority. They knew I loved them. They knew I'd care for them. They know I still love them and care for them. But there's never been any question in our household. Who is my number one? And that's my lovely bride. That's my sweet girl. And I'm her number one as well. You see, your kids, like I said, are going to be here temporarily. But you're married to your spouse for life. I need to be best friends with my wife. You need to be best friends with your wife or with your husband. Why? So that when the kids are gone, you still have something to talk about. You need to develop common interests that you enjoy doing together. So that when the kids are gone, you have common interests to share. You need to do things with your spouse, even when the kids are little, without the kids. You need to have a strong relationship. An old quote is, the best thing that a father can do for his children is love their mother. And the opposite is true. The best thing that a mother can do for her children is love their father. All right, special note for single parents. I cannot even attempt to understand your situation. I have never been there, and you deal with things that I don't deal with. So let me start out by saying that. But in your situation, your kids are number one. And that's the way that it should be. If you decide to get married, though, then your kids are no longer number one. And I know that scares you if you're a single parent, because your kids are your sole responsibility. And that's true, unless you get married. And then your kids are shared responsibility. And the person that you marry may bring kids into that. And it becomes a shared responsibility. You cannot prioritize your children over your spouse, even if it's a blended family. So a little bit of a recommendation here. Don't marry someone, if you're a single parent, don't marry someone that you would not have the respect and trust to give them first position over your children. Because that's what marriage is. It's loving someone, cherishing them, encouraging them, and being with them for life. So that's a special note for single parents. Don't marry somebody just because you don't have enough money or resources or you're overwhelmed. Take the time to find the person that you would trust and respect enough to give that first position over your children. So in review, your kids are not number one. Your spouse is number one in the people department. Okay? All right. If you came in on the towards the end of this, go back as soon as we're done and watch it from the beginning. You really understand what we're talking about. And also don't forget, I've uploaded the first 25 of these videos over to YouTube, so they're easy to find and easy to share. You don't have to go through my Facebook timeline, and that's youtube.com/Troy Stone King. Thank you, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of your day.